I'm super excited to introduce our next reader, a fellow reading series host, a future fellow AWP panelist, a fellow Steven Universe karaoke enthusiast, a fellow striped sweater wearer. KV is a Black, queer, non-binary poet, editor, and educator currently based in Austin, Texas. They've received fellowship invitations from the Vermont Studio Center, Lambda Literary, the Hurston Wright Foundation, and others. Their poetry appears in the Cincinnati Review, the Matador Review, Cosmonauts Avenue, the Shade Journal, and elsewhere. When they're not on stage or in the page, they serve as program coordinator for the Gender and Sexuality Center at the University of Texas at Austin, curator host of ATX Interfaces, assistant editor for Borderlands Texas Poetry Review, and a proud member of I'm going to say this wrong. I should have checked with you first. Lenguas Locxs. Thank you, Locxs Writers Collective, which is an awesome workshop collective. They're currently the spring 2020 guest editor for Foglifter Press, and their favorite flavor of ice cream is pecan, pralines, and cream, and sends apologies for being old. Welcome, KB.
Appreciate you, Chandra, for that very a lot bio. It makes me sound like so much more sophisticated than I am, because like as soon as I get up here, I'm just like dicks. And then everybody's just like, so this is whose people are giving fellowships to this person. But no, I'm really happy to be here today. I'm really happy that this like came together with the Borderlands crew. I really love both of the editors on our team right now. And I'm looking forward to reading out some poems. First, because that thing by Alana just now was just so like show-stopping, heart-wrenching, put it in a bag, give birth to it. I really just want us to like do like a collective breath right quick. Can we do that together? Alright, cool. I'm in front of college students that are anxious every day, so sorry. But let's all breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. I want to love this city. The street I grew up on where 3 men brown as church pews roll in dirt as cops suffocate their wistful wrists. Dogs sniffing through the newly built house that's since been boarded up. The corner store where Raimi and Stalker meet. Where I first smoked weed with a young boy in orange shoes who now rocks an orange jumpsuit. The brown sauce smothered pork chops and stormy Mondays that fill your tummy till you feel a kind of heaven. I want this city to be loved for downtown and Eastwood equally. When I went to university up the street, they told me not to drive past the train tracks because it was sketchy over there. Like being thrust into whiteness isn't sketchy enough. Like wax dripping candles at Dunbar High vigils aren't just as pretty as the Christmas parade of lights on 7th Street. I hate to love this city. Where the stop sign on Berry has 6 painted under stop so you know what hood it is. Where I first felt love, like true love breathing on the side of my neck on one of the littest of school nights from a boy who these days pushes daisies. Damn, I love this city. If you lay on the wood and rusted nail where South Side and the burbs meet long enough, you'll hear church ladies humming. Thank y'all. Anybody from like the Dallas area? Yeah? No? Nobody? Dang, it ain't nobody? Okay, cool. So that poem was about this very interesting town called Fort Worth. Interesting to say the least. And I'm reading some poems from this zine called In Another Life, made with visual illustrations by my good friend Beji Sid. And these are like really like caricatures of 2019 for me. Like these are the poems that I've been doing at like all of my shows that I've really been like hitting the ground running with in Austin. This has also been my first like full year in Austin, so it's just been like, I don't know, I feel like a kind of allegiance to this little zine because I'm just like, like these are all the poems that like made people listen to me. I don't know, like y'all are now, I guess. Cool. So I do poems about like sex and like drugs and like also love, I guess. and then blackness and like queerness and stuff. And I really just brought a whole bunch of poems and was like, this is what we gonna do. I'm gonna just like go with the energy that y'all give me. So cool. Next poem that I'll probably read is a not so great experience that I had in Austin around the time I first moved here with this like police officer, right? Police officer saw that I was a young black person and was just like, hey, what you doing? And then it just like didn't end well. And then in order to like process kind of what happened, I like wrote a poem about it. And this is how I envision 2029 if we don't have so many like race issues by then. So it's called Black Life Circa 2029. Clean fridge. Spacious, carpeted living room. Newly swept floors. A wooden desk table. Designated lunchtime every day at noon. SZA playing on vinyl, one of my favorite R&B artists. Window blinds open and intact. Money crisp and resting in the bank. Sour gummy worms with wine on the counter. I visit my mother regularly, tell her I love her. I don't flinch when my father raises his arm. My father raises his arm to hug me. The hood walks me, and sometimes I walk it back. The hood is a small utopia of green grass. All the Cadillacs are Barbie painted. I walk the east side and don't get hit on. Black men gleam gold teeth, and there are no police. I go up the street to eat, and there are no police. The black boy shoots a toy gun, still no police. There are no police at the school or hiding behind exit signs on the freeway. I don't clutch my steering wheel when black and white cars appear close. I don't get handcuffed or questioned. My lover doesn't have to hold me. Handcuffs only exist for the filthiest of kink shit. I don't have to call in black the next day. I don't replay the night in my head. The ticket doesn't get paid off. There isn't a target on my back that I can't remove. There isn't a target on my face when I cry at night, or in the morning, or in the restroom during my lunch closer to 12. I love my land comfortable. I love this life loud. I have a living. I have a room. Thank you. So it's these like, I guess, I'll ask y'all, would you like to hear poems about like gender? Oh, I forgot to say that I use they, them pronouns and I'm like a genderless, like Pluto person sent here to destroy gender. I forgot to say that, but I'm here. Would y'all like to hear a poem about gender? Would y'all like to hear a poem about Frank Ocean? Would y'all like to hear Frank Ocean? Okay, cool. Whew, so poets have been doing this thing lately called self-portraits a whole lot. I don't know if you're in the poetry scene, but everybody's coming out with a new self-portrait like every day. But I wrote this self-portrait while singing the song called Solo by Frank Ocean. So it's literally just called Self-Portrait as a Frank Ocean song about drugs. Hand me a towel, I'm dirty dancing with Gina's pink butted tongue until she lets out a moan almost loud enough for someone to hear. I've been a connoisseur of un-out women. Now that I think about it, the ones with daddy issues, unstable self-images, and blunts dipped in promethazine. We smoke gas in the back of Juliet's pickup, and you become a gap-toothed god before my eyes. You talk at length about how you want to try tabs. I tune out at what I've come to call my high of choice. Destruction of my own expectations mixed with the need to write about girls who only see me with the devil's sickle resting on their left shoulder. We proceed to make out in the cramped back seat. You lose your jacket, hit a solo to a faint falsetto, dig your nails in my newly nap-tamed braids. I used to have braids, y'all. And I scream in agreement, I deserve this hell on earth. By now I thought I'd be done with for now infatuations, yet I hold this lighter to my mouth and set fire to the thought long enough for us to burn. Long enough to let the O's and solos through. Long enough to see myself in the mirror of your eyes and talk to God directly. Thank you. Alright, cool. I know I asked for y'all's opinion, but like I'm gonna do it anyway. It's these couple of poems that I have, all titled the same thing. I'm working on a little sequence, as the poets call it. And it's like literally like pages and pages of poems all with the same title. But they're really just like caricatures of like how I felt about my gender throughout the years. They're all called How to Identify Yourself with a Wound When You're Not Like a Girl or a Boy and Perform Femininity and Masculinity Wrong. People like to think of you as like a war wounded person. So, I don't know, this is my way of like kind of reclaiming that wound that people have kind of like put on me through these poems. So I'm just gonna read like 3 of them, and then we just gonna go from there. I don't know how much time I got, I forgot. But I'll just go with like 3 of them. They're all called How to Identify Yourself with a Wound. And nobody could have predicted this prickly, upper-lipped, cornrow rocking demi-queer. Picture it. A 12-year-old Texan always dressed in pastels. I was sporting feather eyelashes from clucking one too many a chicken head, always palmed down on any school lunch table, 12 to 12:30 p.m. A busted pen periodically splashed up my long white uniform shirt. Your mama gonna kill you. And if she did, I wouldn't blame her. Honestly, it's best to identify yourself with a wound, preferably before it even happens. That way, when it's ready to puncture its permanent self in you, you won't flinch or run or howl too much and too loud, because who wants sirens blaring in the hood for any old weekday trauma? Let's start with the obvious. The complicated relationship with home. Though I don't ever want home to be jeopardized, besides, I'm 12. Too young to hold a story no one listens to. Too busy beating on lunchroom tables, wondering what it takes to be a little less visible. How to identify yourself with a wound. To the black spot on the vein of my left arm for the weekly plasma donations. To the brown scar under my chin from running too fast on the freshly mopped floor. To the altar I called my dorm bed. To Kate who fought her sanity to sleep next to me in it. To the poems I've started and stopped for femmes with dyed face and nails plunged in bubblegum pink. To Dollar Tree nail polish for always being there. To the top coat for staining my favorite jacket. To the scars blotched all over my legs from scratching mosquito bumps. To being a tomboy in elementary and middle and high school. To the manuscripts I didn't finish. To the stretch marks on my stomach and forearms and shoulders. To S for being able to the animals of past lovers I miss more than the lovers. To D and H and all the other what ifs minimized to a timeline. To my people that have transitioned to another celestial plane. To you, the witness of what happiness does to the brain. To T for loving even though we didn't know how. To the body for housing a trauma that's timid. To the holes in my jeans, to wide hips, to my lips and wounds for always being uncontainable. How to identify yourself with the wounds. I'm a woman only under certain conditions. When needing a hand moving furniture. On ladies' night at the poorly lit bar. When the bouncer touches my lower back. He says, "Right this way, ma'am." And I swallow a cringe along with the complimentary whiskey and coke. When my chest protrudes through the mostly stretched binder. When a man decides to grab my friend and I step in to say, "Back up." The laugh he bellies reminds me I was a woman then. When the bass in my voice is reduced to a chest, a voice crack, some child-bearing hips. When Beyonce says ladies, and me, myself, and I. When the last sip before we leave feels like maybe I can deal with being every kind of woman. Who am I kidding? I've only ever been a question. Laugh. Wound. Sure. I'm only mistaken for a woman under certain conditions. Thanks, y'all. Alright, so I guess I'll leave with one more poem. If you liked any of the things you heard, I have a whole zine, y'all, called In Another Life that I made with one of my friends who does amazing visual art. It's more of this visual art on the inside. And it's over at this table with Hood Witch, which is an amazing book by Faylita, and a couple other really good titles from Malvern. Thanks y'all for having me. I will do When the Lights Shut Off. And it's named after this Kendrick Lamar song. I want the Odd Future shirt in my closet to go to Kate. Maybe she'll need it to remember my Tide detergent trademark, or how striped and colorful I was when silence feels fatal. Remind her of Afropunk, when we almost fainted at a Tyler the Creator concert, and we left because her dirt-covered face under New York limelight mattered more than moshing the party isn't over. I want my glasses to go to D. After all, she helped me see the significance of circles, whether it be shaking in slow rotation at any sweaty bar on 4th Street, or the fog marks splashing on my frames while we succumb to the desire behind our eyelids. I want my ashes scattered in the Trinity River while Kendrick Lamar curates the melancholy of my homies. There are no Photoshop flower crowns allowed. I want everything else left to CJ so he can bloom instead. And the churches, hoods, outcasts, enemies, I know they all will sing about me. Say I wish, I could have, I would have, I see me. I'll remind them it's okay. Then I'll finally see T again. We'll hug and kiss and sing to the crowd. At the end of me is only a fossil. The things I once owned, this body I once homed. I hurt, but I love you much. I promise better is coming. Thank y'all.